What's up, everybody? Welcome to another Mannun's Minute. So I wanted to discuss something that I'm sure a lot of us have experienced. Have you ever shared your thoughts on a topic, maybe something you've studied, practiced, or even lived through, only to have someone jump in with a comment that feels less like a discussion and more like a drive-by insult? You're talking about something you care about, maybe even teaching others, and suddenly someone's triggered. They feel this burning need to correct you or toss out a snarky remark that serves no real purpose other than to try and knock you down a peg. It's absolutely ludicrous how many times I will get comments on my videos that are simply butthurt, ego-filled attacks rather than anything with any kind of resemblance to productive or constructive insight. How do I know? Because the comment will have nothing to do with what the video is about, or the person criticizes about something that I distinctly went over in the video, which they'll say that I didn't talk about it, which tells me that they never even watched the video or very little of it and just decided to comment on the title or what minute or two they actually watched. From that title or 2 minutes came a huge trigger for them. What's going on there? Spoiler alert, it's not about you, it's about them. And more often than not, it all boils down to one thing: ego. Ego's tricky. It loves to feel important and in control. When someone hears you talking about something they identify with deeply, whether it's their religion, lifestyle, or even a hobby, it can stir up a defensive reaction. Maybe you said something that doesn't match their personal experience. Maybe you have a different take than what they were taught. Instead of asking a question or trying to understand your perspective, their ego takes over and shouts, "How dare you?" That's when the non-constructive comments start flying. Not because they're trying to learn or grow, but because their ego feels threatened. And let's be real, that's pretty shitty. Think about it. If your sense of self is so fragile that someone else's perspective feels like an attack, that's not a sign of strength. It's a sign of insecurity and weakness. Mature people can hear a different viewpoint and either consider it, question it respectfully, or simply let it pass without making it a big deal. But when someone jumps straight into insult mode or tries to undermine what you're teaching, they're not doing it to help the conversation. They're doing it to soothe their own discomfort. They want to reassert control by trying to make you look small. Ironically, that just makes them look small instead. Here's the kicker. Nobody benefits from that kind of behavior. It doesn't make the critic feel better in the long run, and it doesn't add anything meaningful to the discussion. It just derails the moment and wastes energy. If the goal is to learn, share ideas, or even have a healthy debate, then all sides need to come to the table with curiosity and respect. Throwing out cheap shots or dismissive remarks, that's the opposite of growth. It's like trying to put out a fire with gasoline. And let's not pretend this only happens online. Sure, the internet makes it easier for people to hide behind screens and lob negativity, but you'll see the same thing in person too. Family dinners, workplace meetings, even casual hangouts. People let their ego run wild when a topic hits too close to home. The truth is, no matter how much you know or how carefully you present your perspective, there will always be someone whose pride can't handle it. That's their problem, not yours. So how do you deal with it? First, recognize it for what it is. Ego talking. You don't have to take it personally. When someone lashes out with a non-constructive comment, they're revealing more about themselves than about you. Their reaction is a reflection of their own unresolved feelings, not the value of what you're sharing. Second, don't feed the drama. Responding with equal negativity just gives their ego what it wants, a fight. Instead, stay grounded in what you know. If their comment has no substance, let it slide. If there's a kernel of constructive feedback buried under the attitude, pick out the useful part and leave the rest. Lastly, remember that teaching and sharing knowledge is about the people who are listening, not the ones who are heckling. For every loud critic, there are usually quiet folks soaking up what you're saying and benefiting from it. Focus on them, the ones who want to learn, the ones who appreciate your work. Those are the people you're actually talking to. In the end, people who feel the need to diminish others aren't evil. They're just letting their ego steer the wheel. It's human, but it's also unhelpful. Growth requires humility. It requires being okay with not knowing everything and respecting that other people have valuable experiences too. When someone refuses to do that, they're choosing stagnation over wisdom, and that's their loss. So keep sharing, keep teaching, and keep your head high. The world needs voices willing to speak, even when ego tries to shout them down. Because here's the truth. Someone else's insecurity should never be the reason you go quiet.